Alright, so we got two real nice prime coons, and this is going to be how to skin out coon for their fur. I want to start off by putting on a pair of gloves. Well, you don't have to, but I always do because I don't want no raccoon diseases. But you're going to start off by taking your knife and cutting right around its leg. And if you're using a hanger, like I am, you're not going to want to cut the Achilles. Because that's how the hanger holds it. But if you're just wrapping a rope or putting a slip knot around its ankle, you don't have to worry about it. You can just cut right through it. Got that leg done. What I always use is the $2 fillet knives at Walmart. They seem to work really good for this. You don't want to use no good knife to skin a bunch of raccoons. Alright, once you get that cut around there, you're just gonna go stick your knife right there and cut on the underside. You're just gonna cut right, kind of make a V, I guess. So that's gonna give you an extra 2 inches of hide. And just kind of make a V right there. Just want to open up your flap. Kind of don't want to cut too deep either. And also, before you get started, you want to cut the vent out because you don't want the vent on your fur. So once you get that all hung up, you're just gonna want to skin around the legs a little bit. I usually get the legs started before I do anything else. Okay, and once you get both your legs started, you want to pull the tail down, and you're just gonna cut the vent out pretty much. Just like that. Then what I like to do too is you go down to the front legs and just put a loop around that too. Then you don't have to cut it later on when you have it skinned down. Now you start skinning. Okay, so now your skin down, skin its legs down. Take your flap you made right here and skin it back some. You don't have to wear the gloves, but I always wear gloves for any predator, I guess. Like deer and squirrels, stuff like that, I don't wear gloves. But if it's raccoons, coyotes, possums, anything like that, I always wear gloves because I don't know, I just don't want no diseases. And plus, I don't like getting my hands all greasy. Those raccoons are very greasy animals. They're dirty animals too. gonna cut your way down on the tail. Then here's the vent right here. You're just gonna cut right through it. And you got the tail right there. And then now, once you get tail skinned around, you can work your fingers through on the back part, just like this. And once you get your fingers through, you usually just pull straight down. Then on the back side of the tail, you might need your knife a little bit to trim it up. It'll pull better that way. Once you get your tail down so far, you're gonna want to get your tail stripper. Just pop it on there. Pull. Well, most of the time you want to pull. Sometimes the tail don't come out right, which it's alright if you don't get the whole tail, if you're selling first. Because if you're selling first, the tail don't have no value. So you're just gonna keep working your way down, just like you would anything else. It's very similar to skinning a deer too, except you go all the way to the head and stripping the tail and all that. There's lots of differences, but it's still the same concept of skinning it from rear to head. When you're in the mid-body section, normally you can just pull it all right down. It was fatty can, but normally it just pulls all down. A lot of people have these clips they hook them up to and a hoist and it pulls the whole thing down. That's a whole lot easier, but it also costs a lot of money to get one of those. And to me, it's not really worth it. You can do it just the same by hand. It might take a little more work, but it's a whole lot cheaper. When you get down around the front legs, you might have to do some cutting. And right here in the brisket, I usually stick my fingers right in the brisket and pull down. Shot in this one went all the way down to the brisket, so the one side's kind of pulling down some bits, all right? It'll still work. Just gonna keep going around the back too. Just keep skinning your way down like you did the whole other body. And you're just gonna want to get your fingers through the hole there. You want to work your finger through. Then you're just going to pull down. And then that's why I like putting holes, well, cutting the feet before I start, because it's already ready to go. You don't have to cut it or anything. Just going to do the same on the other one. Work your finger through and pull down. Just like that. Now you're on the head. Just gonna keep working your way down. And then right about halfway, about right here, you're just gonna want to cut straight through, because that's where the ears start. You're gonna want to do it on both sides. Hence has 2 ears. And there's the shot. I hate coons because, like with coyotes and all that, you shoot them behind the shoulder, and you don't have that big mess right there. The coons, you shoot them in the head, and then you have this. But just go work your way through it. There's nothing you can do about it. See, now down to the eyes. Alright, so I grabbed a scalpel. You don't need a scalpel by any means for this, but it was just sitting right there, and it was easier to grab than sharpening my knife. So when you're at the eye, just gonna cut behind it. You don't want to cut right on it. Just gonna cut behind it. You might have to work some of the other parts down too while you're at it. See, that one's started, but you're just gonna cut way up behind it. But the eyes don't really matter a whole lot on coons for fur, because they're mainly just wanting the body, not really the eyes. But on the other hand, the eyes do matter a lot if you're trying to mount it, or if you're trying to make a really good tan. This eye don't want to cooperate though. There it goes. Then when you cut out the jaw right there too, you stick your finger in it, pull down, and that'll get you stirred real good. And the jaw makes good handles too. And once you get about to the nose, you're just gonna cut right through the cartilage. Just cut right through it. Now the bottom jaw don't really matter for fur. You can cut right off, because most of the time you cut it off when it's on the dryer anyway. There you go, just cut right off. This is kind of a smaller coon. The other coon over there is a whole lot bigger than this one. Oh, there you go. A real prime hide though. Might be smaller, but it's a good one. Alright. I have another project I want to show. These were my first attempt at deer. Now I'd like to get everyone's opinion on what you think about them. I know they're not perfect because they were my first ones, but just trying to get opinions. The eyes still need some clay cleaned out of them, and I need to airbrush that red. I need to clean up the ears. Need to airbrush the nose still. Still a lot of work to be done, but just trying to get opinions on them. See what I can do different next time.